First Contact and Betrayal. Captain Maya Chen stood on the observation deck of the ESS Pathfinder, Earth's most advanced vessel and humanity's proudest achievement. Through the reinforced viewport, she watched as the massive ring-shaped station of the Galactic Alliance grew larger against the backdrop of unfamiliar stars. After decades of scanning the cosmos for signs of intelligent life, humanity had finally received an answer and an invitation. "Nervous, Captain?" asked Dr. Elias Okafor, the mission's chief xenolinguist, as he joined her at the viewport. "Just focused," Maya replied, though her steady hands betrayed a slight tremor. "We're about to make history today, Doctor. The first humans to officially represent Earth to an interstellar community." The Pathfinder had been dispatched after Earth's deep space relay stations detected a sophisticated signal that contained coordinates, basic translation matrices, and an invitation for diplomatic contact. The United Earth government had spent 2 years preparing for this moment, selecting the finest crew from across the planet and outfitting the Pathfinder with the best technology humanity had to offer. "Docking sequence initiating," announced Lieutenant Commander Jackson over the comms. "Alliance Control has provided approach vectors." Maya straightened her uniform and tapped her comm badge. "All senior staff to the conference room. Final briefing before contact." 5 minutes later, Maya addressed her team. "We've trained for this moment. Remember, we represent not just a government but our entire species. Our mission is peaceful exchange of knowledge and establishment of diplomatic relations. We are not here to make concessions or surrender sovereignty." Dr. Okafor pulled up holographic displays of the 7 species that comprise the Galactic Alliance according to the transmission data. The Vrel are the apparent dominant species, insectoid with a hive-minded social structure. The Taurians are the technological pioneers, mammalian with 4 arms. The Dreth are warriors, reptilian and hierarchical. Then we have the crystalline luminary, the aquatic Mersai, the gaseous Phorians, and the diminutive Zinthi. "Do we know their power dynamics?" asked Security Chief Valentina Rostova. "The message suggested a council-based governance," replied Okafor. "But keep in mind, most of this is speculative based on limited data." Maya nodded. "Remember your training. Observe everything. Say little. Make no commitments without consultation. Earth stands ready for friendship, but not at the cost of our independence." The Pathfinder completed its docking procedure with a gentle shudder. Maya led her delegation through the airlock and into the station. The corridor beyond was a marvel of engineering. Shifting environmental sections, gravity adjustments, and atmospheric barriers that accommodated radically different biological needs. They were greeted by a delegation of all 7 Alliance species. The insectoid Vrel stepped forward, its mandibles clicking in what the translation software interpreted as a formal greeting. "Representatives of Earth, welcome to Harmony Station. I am High Counselor Zixfon of the Vrel Collective." The translator rendered the clicks and buzzes into smooth English in Maya's earpiece. "We have long observed your civilization's progress and deemed you ready for introduction to the galactic community. On behalf of Earth, we thank you for your welcome," Maya replied, maintaining the diplomatic smile she had practiced countless times. "We come seeking knowledge, friendship, and mutual respect between our peoples." The Dreth representative, a towering reptilian with scales that shifted colors like oil on water, made a sound that the translator struggled with before rendering as curious phrasing. Most emergent species understand their position more instinctively. Maya caught the subtle tension rippling through the alien delegation, but continued smoothly. "Perhaps you could explain what you mean by position." "All will be clarified during the formal proceedings," the Vrel counselor interjected. "Please, follow us to the Great Chamber." The Great Chamber was a vast rotunda with 7 elevated podiums arranged in a circle for the Alliance representatives, and a single, notably lower platform in the center for the Earth delegation. Maya immediately recognized the spatial power dynamic, but gave no outward reaction as she took her place. The formal proceedings began with each Alliance species presenting information about their civilization, technology, and role within the Alliance. Maya and her team listened attentively, storing every detail for later analysis. When Earth's turn came, Maya delivered a carefully crafted presentation highlighting human resilience, innovation, and peaceful aspirations, while deliberately omitting specific details about military capabilities and resource locations. "We are curious," said the crystalline luminary representative, its voice creating harmonic overtones that made the translator crackle, "about your species' unusual development pattern. Most species focus their resources on either biological enhancement or technological advancement. Humans appear to pursue multiple incompatible paths simultaneously." "We'd value diversity of approach," Maya replied. "It's a cornerstone of our scientific methodology and cultural philosophy." "Inefficient," commented the Xynthi representative, the small gray being's large eyes blinking rapidly, "but perhaps useful in limited contexts." As the meeting progressed, discussion turned to the terms of Earth's integration into the Alliance. The terms presented were increasingly one-sided. Earth would share all technological innovations, provide access to its resources, accept Alliance oversight of its military capabilities, and implement Alliance protocols for governance. "I must be clear," Maya said, her voice firm despite the tension in the chamber. "Earth seeks partnership, not assimilation. We cannot accept terms that compromise our sovereignty." A strange silence fell over the chamber. The Alliance representatives communicated among themselves using methods beyond human perception, subtle pheromones, electromagnetic signals, and frequencies outside human sensitivity. Dr. Okafor leaned close to Maya. "Captain, my translation matrix is detecting subharmonic communications. There's another conversation happening beneath their words." Before Maya could respond, the Dreth representative stood. "Perhaps we have moved too quickly. Let us adjourn for what you call refreshment and continue discussions later." During the recess, Maya gathered her team in a secure room provided for them. "Impressions?" she asked. "They're hiding something," Security Chief Rostova said immediately. "The station has far more defensive capabilities than initially apparent. I've counted at least 3 weapon systems disguised as environmental regulators. Their questions focus on our weaknesses, not our strengths," added Science Officer Torres. "They seem particularly interested in our response to biological threats and our nuclear capabilities. And they keep referring to other emergent species with a tone that suggests those encounters didn't end well," Dr. Okafor noted. Maya's instincts had been screaming warning since they arrived. "We maintain diplomatic protocols, but prepare contingencies. Torres, initiate the Cassandra Protocol, continuous data transmission back to Earth using the quantum entanglement communicator. If something happens to us, Earth needs to know." When they returned to the Great Chamber, the atmosphere had subtly shifted. The Alliance representatives seemed to have reached some internal consensus. "Representatives of Earth," began the Vrel counselor, "we have considered your position. Your species shows promise but requires guidance. The terms we presented are non-negotiable for all emergent species. For your own protection and development, you must accept Alliance oversight." Maya stood tall. "With respect, Earth must decline these terms. We welcome friendship and knowledge exchange as equals, but we cannot surrender our sovereignty." The chamber's lights dimmed slightly. The Dreth representative's scales flashed in patterns that the translator couldn't process. "That is unfortunate," said the Vrel counselor. "In the history of the Alliance, only 3 species have declined initial integration. None exist today." The threat hung in the air like a physical presence. "Are you threatening Earth?" Maya asked, her voice steady despite the adrenaline flooding her system. "Simply stating historical fact," replied the Mercé representative, its tentacles undulating in its fluid environment. "Young species often overestimate their importance in the cosmic order." Maya tapped her comm badge twice, the signal to her ship to initiate emergency protocols. "I believe this meeting is concluded. We will return to our vessel and report your terms to Earth's government. I'm afraid departure is not possible at this time, said the Dreth representative. Your vessel is being upgraded with Alliance technology for your safety. The euphemism wasn't lost on Maya. Screens around the chamber activated, showing the Pathfinder surrounded by smaller Alliance vessels, strange devices attaching to its hull. This is an act of aggression, Maya stated, abandoning diplomacy. Earth will consider this a hostile action. Earth will not know, said the Vrel counselor. Your primitive communications cannot penetrate the dampening field now active around this station. Maya exchanged glances with her team. The Cassandra protocol would bypass conventional communications. Earth would know. But they needed to survive long enough to gather more intelligence. What happened next shocked the Alliance representatives. Instead of begging or capitulating like other emergent species, the humans fought back. When Alliance security forces entered the chamber to detain them, Chief Rostova and her security team displayed combat capabilities far beyond what the Alliance had anticipated from an undeveloped species. In the chaos that followed, Maya and half her team managed to fight their way back to their ship, where the engineering crew had repelled the boarding parties with unexpected effectiveness. The Pathfinder's engines roared to life, breaking free from the docking clamps. All hands, battle stations, Maya ordered as she reclaimed the captain's chair. Tactical, target their propulsion systems only. We need to create an escape vector. But Captain, we're outnumbered and outgunned, protested the tactical officer. They may have better technology, but they've never faced humans before, Maya replied grimly. And they've made a critical error. They've shown us exactly what they think of us. We have nothing to lose. The Pathfinder executed a series of maneuvers that the Alliance vessels couldn't anticipate. Humans had developed combat tactics fighting other humans, making them unpredictable to species that had known only cooperation for millennia. Using the station itself as a shield, the Pathfinder managed to disable 2 Alliance vessels before activating its experimental FTL drive. As the stars stretched into lines around them, Maya knew this wasn't over. It was just beginning. Earth had received its warning, not through the Cassandra protocol, but through the actions of the Alliance itself. Humanity would not go quietly into the night. The galaxy had just made a terrible mistake. The final warning. Admiral William Archer stood before the United Earth Defense Council, his weathered face illuminated by the holographic display showing the greatest fleet humanity had ever assembled. 6 months had passed since Captain Chen's Pathfinder had limped back to Earth with news of the Alliance's treachery, and humanity had responded with characteristic determination. Operation Thunderclap is ready, counselors, Archer announced, his deep voice echoing in the underground chamber beneath Mount Cheyenne. 37 battle groups positioned at strategic points throughout the solar system. The Dyson array is at 90% capacity. The Lazarus Protocol has been distributed to all major population centers. Counselor Diaz, representing the Americas, leaned forward. And the Vanguard program. Complete, replied Dr. Amara Singh, stepping forward. The brilliant physicist had led the team that reverse-engineered the Alliance technology salvaged from the Pathfinder. Project Prometheus is operational. We've successfully weaponized the principles behind their FTL communications. In simple terms, Doctor, prompted Counselor Okamura from the Asian Coalition. They thought we couldn't possibly understand their technology, much less improve it. Dr. Singh explained, a fierce pride evident in her voice. But while they've stagnated behind their technological walls for millennia, we've evolved to adapt and innovate. We haven't just matched their capabilities, we've surpassed them in key areas. Admiral Archer continued the briefing. Our intelligence suggests the Alliance is assembling an armada. They're not coming to negotiate. They're coming to eradicate a potential threat before it fully emerges. Their standard protocol with problematic species. How much time do we have? Asked Counselor Nkosi from the African Union. Our deep space arrays detected their fleet mobilizing 3 days ago, Archer replied. Based on their propulsion signatures, we estimate arrival within 48 hours. The council chamber fell silent as the magnitude of the situation sank in. Humanity stood at the precipice of either extinction or a new era among the stars. Implement ERA's protocol, ordered Council Chair Lakshmi. All civilians to designated shelters, all military assets to battle positions. And may God help us all. On the bridge of the ESS Retribution, Earth's newest and most advanced warship, Captain Maya Chen had been promoted following her actions at first contact. She studied the tactical display showing the approaching Alliance Armada. Over 500 vessels arranged in a formation that betrayed thousands of years of unchallenged military doctrine. Their formation is rigid, she observed to Tactical Officer Rostova, now her XO. No adaptation for solar winds or gravitational eddies. They've never had to fight a war of equals. Arrogance, Rostova replied with a grim smile. The same arrogance that made them dismiss us as primitives. The comms officer called out, "Captain, incoming transmission from Alliance flagship, text only." On screen, Maya ordered. The message was brief. Surrender your world and accept reduction to protected status. Resistance will result in extinction. You have 6 hours to respond. Maya's expression hardened. Send our response. Ma'am, we haven't received orders to. Send them static. Nothing else. Rostova raised an eyebrow. Psychological warfare, Captain. Let them wonder if we even received their message, Maya replied. Let them stew in uncertainty. Humans have always excelled at psychological warfare. In the hidden laboratory beneath the Pacific Ocean, Dr. Singh made final adjustments to Project Prometheus. The device before her, a sphere of intricately patterned metallic lattices surrounding a pulsing blue core, represented humanity's ultimate failsafe. The mathematics are elegant, she told her assistant, Dr. James Chen. The Alliance uses quantum entanglement for instant communication across vast distances, but they never weaponized it because their cooperative evolution never pushed them toward weaponizing every discovery. Humans are different, James replied, understanding in his eyes. We evolved as predators and survivors, Amara agreed. When we see a stick, we see both a tool and a weapon. When we discovered fire, we used it to cook food and to burn enemies. The Alliance species evolved largely through cooperation. They see technology as a means to sustain, not to destroy. Their mistake. Indeed, Prometheus is ready for deployment. Once activated, it will create a cascading disruption through their quantum communication network. Every networked system in their fleet will receive contradictory commands simultaneously. James glanced at the device with a mixture of awe and trepidation. We're about to change the course of human history. The Alliance changed it the moment they decided we were livestock to be managed, rather than equals to be respected, Amara replied, her voice firm. We're just ensuring it doesn't end with our extinction. As the Alliance Armada entered the solar system, they encountered no resistance. Their sensors detected primitive defense satellites and a scattered fleet of human vessels that appeared to be retreating deeper into the system. As expected, commented Fleet Admiral Zorketh of the Dreth, his scales rippling with satisfaction. They realize resistance is futile. Commenced the first phase of planetary acquisition. The vanguard of the Alliance fleet pushed forward, following the retreating human vessels toward the asteroid belt. What happened next would be studied in military academies throughout the galaxy for centuries to come. The supposedly retreating human ships suddenly executed a complex series of maneuvers that no Alliance tactical system could predict. From hidden positions throughout the asteroid belt, hundreds of previously undetected Earth vessels emerged, their signatures masked by technology reverse-engineered from the Alliance's own stealth systems. Impossible, breathed Zorketh as his tactical display erupted with new contacts. They couldn't have. His words were cut short as the first wave of human attacks struck. Unlike the precision beam weapons of the Alliance, Earth's weapons were devastating in their brutal simplicity. Kinetic impactors accelerated to relativistic speeds, electromagnetic pulses calibrated to the exact frequencies of Alliance shield systems, and swarms of autonomous drones that sacrificed themselves to deliver tactical nuclear payloads directly against hull plates. "They're fighting like barbarians," gasped a luminary commander as a third of the Vanguard fleet disintegrated under the assault. "No," corrected science advisor Yilvax of the Mersai. "They're fighting like a species that evolved through conflict. Every technology they possess has been optimized for warfare in ways we never considered." As the Alliance fleet regrouped and began to push back with superior numbers, Admiral Archer gave the order that would change galactic history. "Initiate Project Prometheus." Throughout the solar system, hidden arrays activated, sending precisely calibrated signals through the quantum network that the Alliance relied upon for coordination. What followed wasn't just a communications disruption. It was chaos incarnate. Alliance vessels received contradictory orders. Weapon systems initiated emergency shutdowns. Life support systems recalibrated for species other than their crews. In the confusion, Earth's fleet struck with devastating precision. Not to destroy, though they could have, but to disable and contain. Within 6 hours, the greatest armada the Alliance had ever assembled lay broken and powerless, surrounded by Earth vessels that had suffered losses but remained combat effective. From the bridge of the Retribution, Maya Chen opened a channel to the crippled Alliance flagship. "This is Captain Maya Chen of Earth. Your fleet is defeated. Your communication network is under our control. We could destroy every vessel in your armada. But unlike you, we do not eradicate species that pose a potential threat." On the view screen, Admiral Zorketh's scaled face showed an emotion no human had seen from the Dreth before. "Fear. What are your terms?" the Dreth Admiral asked. "Earth is declaring itself a sovereign power, independent of the Galactic Alliance. We will establish our own relations with individual species who wish to trade or share knowledge as equals. Any further aggressive action against Earth or human interests will be met with total war, not just against your military assets, but against the communication network that binds your civilization together." Maya leaned forward, her voice becoming steel. "Tell your council this. We wanted to be friends. You chose to make us enemies. That was your first and final mistake. Attack again, and the Alliance will cease to exist as a political entity. This is not a negotiation. This is Earth's final warning to the galaxy." The silence that followed stretched for nearly a minute before the Dreth Admiral responded. "Your terms will be conveyed to the Council." "Good. Now here's what happens next. Your damaged vessels will be allowed to limp home, as witnesses to what happens when you underestimate humanity. Your intact vessels remain in our custody until formal recognition of Earth's sovereignty is received from all 7 founding species of the Alliance." Maya stood, straightening her uniform. "The galaxy just learned an important lesson, Admiral. Humans don't start wars, but we finish them. Remember that the next time your council contemplates action against Earth." As the transmission ended, Maya turned to her crew. Their faces showed the same mixture of pride, relief, and determination that she felt. Humanity had faced its greatest challenge and emerged not just victorious but transformed. They were no longer just another emergent species. They were a power to be reckoned with. In the centuries that followed, historians would mark this day as the beginning of the human era in galactic politics. The Alliance, once monolithic and unchallenged, gradually reformed into a true cooperative of equals, with Earth playing a central role in its transformation. The species that had dismissed humans as primitive barbarians came to value them as innovative allies who approached problems from angles no other civilization had considered. The dreaded final warning became instead the first step toward a genuine partnership of diverse intelligences across the stars. But they never forgot the lesson learned in that first confrontation. Humanity might extend the hand of friendship, but cross them at your peril. For in the vast darkness between the stars, There is no force more terrifying than humans fighting for their survival. Retriclaude can make mistakes. Please double-check responses.